Good afternoon. Today is November 6, 2015, and I'm doing an update on my reef tank, which I optimistically call it a reef tank, but it's actually doing pretty good. It's now about 7 months old, and the water parameters are really stable, which is largely due to the refugium I have down here, which is kind of going to come out weird in the video, I think, because I have a LED grow light down there. And I have a lot of Chaeto and rock, live rock down there for bacteria, my pump and heaters, and my temperature controller and light controller and all sorts of things there. But the tank, by the way, the light's coming from, it's one of those Kessel lights, which is I really like, and I have a couple mangroves up there to help with nitrate reduction. But right now the nitrates are zero. Everything, basically all the water parameters are pretty darn good. So anyways, I'll do a brief walk around the tank. Let me start down here first. This is there. I have 3 pieces of live rock, and on the rightmost one there's Palythoa and some hair algae. And there's my clownfish coming in for a visit. Got 2 clownfish, and they're trying to get rid of some hair algae, as I think I mentioned. And then here, this is coral, and I'm trying to get a full area to get that in focus. That's what there's about 10 or 11 polyps. You can see kind of the white areas that are starting to grow. That was pretty much dead when I got it a couple months ago. And those I think are tube corals. The one here, that brownish one, is we're thinking maybe a button coral or I can't remember the name of the corals. There's so many corals, it's amazing. I'm still a newbie here, still learning big time. And I have some clams. There's like 5 big clams, and there's also some little clams, like there's a number of those, and I think they're called scallops or something, but they're all over the place, and they're filter feeders. This right here is a tunicate or a sea squirt. They have about 3 or 4 of those. That's the biggest one by far. There's some, I think those are called button corals, and they're pretty cool. And I have some plants in there, but sometimes they kind of go in and out in terms of healthiness depending upon the nitrate levels. And right now since the nitrates are basically 0, and have been that way for a while, they're not doing that good. And I got some anemones back here, kind of hiding back there, and there's a couple other creatures all over. There are actually quite a few little creatures all over the place. There's my hermit crab. Actually, there's 2 of those. But anyways, I'll cover all these in detail later in other videos. Oh, the one last thing, that's the green star polyp back there, which is really neat. I bought that instead of a big anemone for the clownfish to host, as they call it. Because the anemone in this small of a tank, which is right now it's a 20-gallon on the upper part here, and then an 18-gallon down here in the sump. And that anemones move around, and I didn't want it to. I wanted it to stay there on the left, so they'd have a place there that they can hide and feel safe. So, anyways, that's enough of an update. Feel free to ask me any questions, and we'll see if I can answer them. But the main purpose of this is just to share a video from one newbie to another, and this is going to be a long journey from here to the next tank I'll get in a few months, and we'll take you there one step at a time.